Welcome everyone, this is Guy Gambit, the Social Tactician. In today's video we're going to talk about what is the best strategy to game or Rizz your local bar. Before we get into the diagram, a few points of order we need to cover. The first time you go to the bar will not be to game or Rizz it, it will be to do a reconnaissance. So there's no pressure for any social interaction. You're purely there to pay attention to the physical layout of the bar and notice what the environment is. What I'm talking about here is it light? Is it dark? Is it loud? Is it quiet? Are people moving around? Are they stationary? Are there lots of seating areas, or is everyone just stand around? These things are very important on the reconnaissance. Obviously, you're going to notice the clientele who are in the bar on this reconnaissance mission. What you want to pay attention to is ask yourself, am I congruent to being in this bar? Congruence means you look like you belong there. Obviously, if it's a college bar on the edge of a university campus where everyone is 18 to 25, then people are going to look, dress, and act very differently than if it's your local salsa club. You want to be congruent to the bar. You must look like you belong there. The next thing you want to pay attention to is you want to try and befriend the bar staff. You want to talk to the bartenders. You want to know their names, know something about them, have introduced yourself. Same if there's security or the wait staff. You want to befriend the bar staff. All of this is planning. But when you actually go the following day to try and Rizz or game the bar, you need to be fully present. So you need both the conceptual model in your mind, but during the actual interaction, you're fully present and fully engaged in that social interaction. The best way to do that is simply say, I'm going to be social when I go Rizz or game the bar. Being social means you're going to interact with the clientele who are in there, but everything you do or say is going to be socially calibrated to that environment. Social calibration means it's going to look like it belongs in that environment. In order to look socially calibrated, we're going to choose two different methods. The first one is nonverbal, which is exactly what it sounds like. It can be a simple raising of the glass as you look in a girl's eyes. It's basically giving her a toast to see if you get a reaction, or holding your hand out and offering to pull her up just to start talking to her. There's nonverbal things you can do, and we'll show an example of that when we go over the diagram. But more importantly, the main method we'll use is Indirect Cold Approach as our main method to support the bar strategy. There's many people you can learn from for this. There's the mystery method, there's Shaun Michael at 3SR, there's Todd Valentine, there's Real Social Dynamics. I'm just giving you an overview, but you will follow up with that and do the research to start learning that method. In being social, an important point is you want to come in one level above the energy level of the group. If there are 3, you need to come in at a 4. But if the group is in a very excited, jovial state and they're at an 8, you must come in at a 9. No one likes to have their group dragged down in energy level by an outsider. Always +1 energy. The next point is, during your Rizz or game, you always want to stay standing. The reason for this is the physical position of standing is very open and very social, whereas the moment you sit down, it implies that you're kind of closed off and you're seeking privacy and intimacy. The only reason you should ever find yourself sitting down in the bar strategy is if you're in isolation with one girl and now rizzing her, chatting her up. The final thing is you want to do 1 to 2 warm-ups the same day on your way to the bar. A simple way to do this is if you stop at the 7-Eleven, whoever is the sales staff, you want to chat them up and ask them how they're doing today, or create more of a social interaction than normal. But you want to do 1 to 2 warm-ups to get you in a talkative state before you get to the bar. Since we're talking about a talkative state, the first area you're going to actually rizz or game is outside the bar itself. There's normally an outside, which could be a smoking area, but any area where people are either waiting to get inside or they're standing around outside. The way you would open them is with a functional opener. Hey, what's this place? Is it any good? You see how that's very socially calibrated and very simple. It makes sense for you to say that there. Or you could use an observational opener. Wow, how come you guys look like the most fun group here? I would totally guess it's your birthday. Once you do that, you can move on with a follow-up observation, singling out either the girl in the group or just continuing on. Wow, hey, why do you look like a passionate but struggling artist? Then you can tease and neg her off the response and move on to a demonstration of higher value story called a DHV story. Later on in the diagram, I'll give you two examples, one on the telepathy tapes and one on Van Gogh. So now we've rizzed or gamed one group outside or one girl outside as kind of a warm-up and to continue on getting in a talkative state. Then we move into area 2, the ordering line. Obviously, you're standing up as you move into the ordering line and you're not scanning the crowd as if you're looking for girls. You're going to act as if you don't notice anything or anyone except the bartenders, and you're fully engaged in the process of ordering a drink. You're not scanning the area. The people who are adjacent to you in line or anyone else who's just standing there, you can casually say to the side of them, hey, how do you know what to order here? They have so many drinks, it's crazy. Then you can go into a follow-on observation just like you did in area 1 outside. Wow, why do you look so XYZ from XYZ? That brings us to area 3. Area 3, you're also standing up, and that's the drink pickup area. Here you would use a functional opener. Wow, what is that? They have so many drinks here. It's crazy, right? This is the ideal position, wedged in between the ordering line and the pickup area, because everyone is standing around and you can be stationary while they flow around you. In this way, the opens and social interactions are very socially calibrated because they just seem to happen. It's like you're not even trying. That's the ideal thing. Good game doesn't look like game. One reason also that we befriended the bar staff is not only for social approval, but if you're standing here wedged in between the ordering line and the pickup area, if they know you and they like you, they're going to allow you to do it. If they don't, they'll tell you to move. So it's important to befriend the staff for this and lots of other reasons. So we've talked about the outside area, the ordering line, the pickup area. Next, we're going to flow into the standing area, area 4. Area 4 is the second best standing area. One example of an observational opener, if there's a mixed group, which means there's a guy in it, you always open the guy in a mixed group. Dude, I love the shirt. And you give him a little cheers. I just have to ask though, what's up with the fact that you all look like you're going to a wine tasting? Or, wow, why do your friends look like they handle money all day? After the initial open, then you can go into a DHV story, a demonstration of higher value story. Hey, have you guys discovered the telepathy tapes yet? Yeah, it was on YouTube. Heard of it? Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It really got to me. There's this mom and this highly autistic disabled son, and the only way he can communicate is talking on his iPad. And he seems to know so much more than his mom thinks he can possibly know. And she asks him, how do you all know this? And her son says to her, God talks to me. Well, His mom is an atheist, but she finally asks, okay, well, what does he, she, or it say? And her disabled son types on the iPad, you have a purpose and nothing can stop it, so keep hope. Wow, what's your purpose? Or you can use a Van Gogh demonstration of higher value story. Oh my God, did you guys see the Van Gogh Alive exhibit that came through town a while back? I realized something. He was different than everybody. In the last year of his life, he painted like 100 paintings knowing they won't sell. Who would do that? You would quit. I would probably quit. Any sane person would just go get a job at Starbucks, right? I think only one thing would drive someone like that his entire life: love. And the important thing is that you point right at the girl in the group. And as they keep talking, you say, oh, what do you think? From the standing area, now let's cover area 5, the seating area. In my opinion, it's always better to take a girl to the seating area than it is to approach. You can move her there and start building a sense of togetherness in relative isolation. But if you are going to approach a girl who's already seated, one note you need to pay attention to is the farther she sees you approach from, the worse it is. Ideally, if she's sitting at this table and you eventually move yourself to where you're standing with your back to her, you can randomly open her over the shoulder with a functional or observational opener, and then only turn around as she starts responding once the opener lands. Again, it's much better to just randomly be near her table and then open, as opposed to if she's sitting over here and makes eye contact with me and I'm coming from the standing area, crossing all the way across the bar. The interaction will probably not open as well. Area 6 is the restroom waiting areas. And I'm not really going to touch on these because it's the least preferred area. But if you're going to do it, you can still use an observational opener. The final area is area 7. That's random. Random just means sometimes you're in the bar and a group or a woman moving from A to B, like, you're going to be able to socially interact and it just feels right. So what you can use is a nonverbal pre-opener, where you would simply just hold up your glass in a cheers motion and make eye contact with her while you're smiling in her direction. Any positive response you get, you immediately approach and run the same opener as you would for the standing area. If there's no response, that's okay. It randomly happened in the flow, no big deal. But if you see her later in the bar, because you've done that nonverbal opener, that group or that girl is more likely to open receptively now than had you have just randomly opened her later. Psychologically, you aren't a stranger anymore. So we've talked about how to best rizz or game your local bar. Hopefully you're on your way to becoming a social tactician. Now get out there and be social.